Hello and welcome to QuestLore, a family Lorcana podcast where each and every week we come to you and talk to you about all things Lorcana. I'm Matt.
I'm Malcolm.
I'm Emmett.
Don't do that. I'm Jen.
Testing out some new microphones this week. And we've got kids, which means they're going to fool around with them. Because we've trained them to use regular standard mics. We're trying some wireless ones this time around. And basically, Emmett's going to play around with it because he's Emmett. So
You don't have to talk right into it. Just talk forward like normal, dude.
just talk like normal. He looks like a deer in headlights right now, if I'm being honest. Like, okay, I talk forward. Okay, I know how to do that.
Yo-yo cake.
It is a busy week for Lorcana.
Yeah.
It is release week for Azurite Sea.
Yes.
We're recording this on Thursday before the set
This
comes
is
out.
Azurite Sea Eve.
Yes, Azurite Sea Eve. Very
My
much.
favorite holiday.
We'll have to leave out cookies for Stitch. Hopefully he will leave us some fun packs to open in the morning.
Wait, but why did we do this for set 2? Why did we leave out cookies for the Queen of Hearts and then she would give us a bunch of money?
Because I just came up with that bit right now, man. That would be the answer.
Yes, that's fine.
So,
But a better holiday that this is also the tomorrow was also the release day of Rise of the Floodborn. I still can't even believe that Rise of the Floodborn came out a year ago.
that's true. It was about a year ago
year?
today. Yeah,
Yeah.
around there. Yep. That
Malcolm's
Rise
very
of the Floodborn
surprised.
came out, and we were on the hunt for packs. Right, we couldn't find them easily last time. Now this time it was very easy to make some pre-orders at some
Yep.
stores. We're good to go. I don't have to worry about hunting down a trove, the gift set, nothing. It's gonna be easy as pie.
Yep.
We'll have a bunch of boxes in here tomorrow.
Malcolm's
Yep.
destroyed.
Yes. We're all going to go. So we all will, the three of us will go to bed while Dad is going to go play.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up to a starter deck tournament. Just a little
Malcolm's not okay.
No.
bit. Malcolm has a hard time with the passage of time, like any young man does. So that's the big thing happening this week, right? Azurite Sea tomorrow. Good luck on your polls. Hopefully you pull your enchanteds that you want.
Enchanted! Piglets!
No enchanted
No
piglets
enchanted
in this
piglets.
set. There's not even a piglet card in this set.
What? Yes, there is.
Is there?
Yes.
Yeah, isn't there the new Pirate Piglet guy that Pooh's helping out?
Yeah, but it's not an actual card. Like, he's on the Pooh pirate ship card, but he's not an actual card.
Do you want me
like
to
the thing
add
that's an
that?
item, but not a location.
What?
I'm pretty sure there isn't another pirate piglet. We can check later.
What?
But yeah, so I know, I thought we were going to get another one too, but instead we get the Pooh pirate ship, the item that for some reason is not a location. Even though many other ships are locations.
Yeah. Of
You
course
just have
they
to
are.
throw the pirate ship at people and you win.
I don't think that's its ability, but you can try it. And I think you're good. I think the judge is going to rule against you.
I'm not sure.
But
Anyway.
speaking of things that Ravensburger does that is confusing, big talk recently has been about the Continental Championships, right?
Yep.
So we got European Continental Championships are in 23 days, I believe, from the day that we were recording this. Besides how the last chance qualifier works, which we know is they sold about 1,000 of them, 32-man pods, best of 3, 1 loss, you're out. All right, so 32 people will go on to the regular championships next day. Other than the fact that the people that make it to Worlds get the special enchanted whole new world card, we have zero information about how the rest of that tournament works. So the people that are going to be in that tournament have zero clue about how they're going to play. Is it best of 2? Is it best of 3? Are they doing Swiss? Is it a full bracket? They have no idea about that. And then they have no idea what any of the prizing will be for if you make it to the top 64 or top 32, top 8. And then how many people are going to make it to Worlds? There is no information about that. We are 23 days out.
That's really, really strange.
Yeah. People are basically hounding them for that information on Twitter and Blue Sky.
Well,
on a
sure,
regular
because
basis.
why would you, without knowing that information, why would you actually buy the ticket to go all the way out there?
Yeah, so, I mean, in Europe, it's a little bit easier to travel than it is here in the States.
That's true. They can take
right?
trains.
But you're still planning a train or an airplane or hotel rooms, and it's all going to be near Disneyland Paris,
Yeah.
so it's not going to be cheap.
No.
Not
Like,
at
how
all.
do you justify all that expense if you have no idea what you're even playing for? Like, are they going to get more golden Mickeys, right? There were 500 of them printed. They did not give out 500 yet. Are they going to get something even better? You know, they haven't shown anything, and it's starting to get a little bit, like, worrisome that they don't have any
frustrating.
plans for it.
Golden piglet. Golden. I'm surprised that he didn't say golden. Oh wait, I don't even should give him the idea.
Okay.
Never mind.
All right. And then Emmett wandering. So, speaking of other things, Ravensburger kind of was weird on. So, one of the games that we also play that Ravensburger made is Horrified. All right, and not really a great Disney-friendly game.
No.
Great Halloween game, right?
Yes.
You're fighting
Spooky
against.
season game.
The first one you're fighting against Universal monsters. We got the second one for my birthday where you're fighting Greek monsters that we haven't had a chance to open. They actually had a special thing where you could order, where you fight against like a Christmas monster. So a Christmas themed monster you could fight against. So
Santa Claus.
a guy called Krampus.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be Sandy Claus.
No. That would be good. But that would,
Yeah,
man. Anyways.
Yeah.
So I hopped on and ordered that because we liked the Horrified game and we played it.
Did, yeah, it was really fun.
So I thought, oh, this is a cool little thing that adds on. It's not a whole other game. It's just adds on to the thing you already have. So I ordered that. I didn't get that. Instead, what I got was this Villainous Organized Play Kit. So this is basically
What?
a kit that they'll send to stores to have them play Villainous. Like prizes, like promos. So we got Maleficent keychains with the Maleficent token holders. All right, so we've got like 5 of those, 5 of those. We got.
I want a Queen of Hearts.
We've got a stamp with a V on it, like a Villainous V, so you can stamp things with the Villainous logo.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Stickers featuring. Let me see. Let me open this up here. See if we can remember what their movers look like. So these are all based off of the movers from Villainous. We've got stickers just with the Villainous logo, the one that was going on my deck box for sure.
Yeah, nice.
We've got.
And they're
let's
not
see.
asking you to send these back?
Clucka.
No, we got Captain Hook,
Of course, Maleficent.
Maleficent, right?
Ursula.
No,
No,
that's
that's Yzma.
Evil Queen.
Oh, it's Evil Queen.
I
Right,
know.
these are mostly starter ones, the
Yeah.
ones from the starter set.
Evil
That's
Queen's
Ursula.
not.
Yeah.
We've got Scar, and then King Candy itself too. So this is a pretty new set because King Candy
Just
came
came
out
out.
in the Sweet and Sour set. I think was the name
And
of it.
time for the mutton fudge is in that deck.
So I really wanted Queen of Hearts, but this is like my second ace whenever we play Villainous, so I'm fine.
Yeah, so this is pretty cool. Villainous is kind of how we got into like Ravensburger as a company,
Yeah.
and
And it was kind of like, and just like, this was kind of the first board game we started geeking out over.
yep, this is one where we had to have everything.
Yeah, well, if you know, if you do watch our YouTube feed, you'll see in the background I actually made, like, handmade, crafty made I took an old suitcase or briefcase and actually crafted it to be a Villainous briefcase, and on the inside, I have it all organized and have it with like villains fabric and everything. If that's something you're interested in seeing, like, let us know. Maybe I'll put a video about that on our social media.
Or maybe
something
we
for you
could
to
make
see.
a video of the 4 of us playing Villainous.
The Villainous is a longer
That is a
game.
long game.
So I was looking through these rules about like they have special things for how to hand things out and everything. And one of the things it says in the rules that it takes about 20 minutes per player to complete a game of Villainous. So if you have 3 players, it should only take you an hour. And sometimes that happens.
Rarely.
But a lot of times we're sitting at the table for like 3 hours. So it's also going to depend on
Yes.
skill. So I bet with new people,
Sure.
it's going to take shorter amount of time.
Sure.
But with people that know what they're doing, it's like fate,
Yes.
attacking the other people constantly.
Yes, because we don't want each other to win. We
Yeah,
want to win.
exactly. So it can get pretty chaotic in a hurry. Speaking of Villainous, before we get into Lorcana stuff, and we're getting there, I did want to talk about the fact that we did play the most recent expansion of Villainous.
Wait, I'm pretty sure we already said that.
No,
No,
we didn't.
did
Oh.
not.
We did not. So the most recent expansion of Villainous had both King Candy and Shere Khan.
Yes.
Right?
He was King Candy and he was Shere Khan.
So that's Malcolm was King Candy and Dad, Matt, was Shere Khan.
Again, most people are listening, not watching.
Alright, so who were you again, Mama?
I played Hades for the first time.
Oh yeah, and I played for totally the first time Queen, the evil Queen.
Sure,
Yeah.
for the first
Yeah,
time,
first
sure.
time.
Emmett plays about 3 villains at all. Like, he won't venture outside of them.
I'm thinking of doing Scar next time we play.
Okay,
Okay,
then
I
we'll
hope
see.
so.
So, Malcolm, how did it feel playing King Candy?
Taffeta mutton fudge.
Okay, so it felt taffy and mutton fudge. It
So
felt like
it
taffy and some
Well,
fudge.
didn't you win, Malcolm?
Yes, I did win. Like I really like how he plays. Like, so he doesn't actually have like a normal board. Like, you actually have like a racetrack you like ride around on, and like you pick a number and like go that far. And like your goal is to like race Vanellope at the end once you pull a card. But like the main thing is like moving your characters from different spaces, and like one character, whenever you move him, you could draw a card, or one character you gain a power or something. Which I like. It really reminded me of Taffeta Mutton Fudge deck.
Yeah, it
Also,
was,
it had Taffeta Mutton
it
Fudge in
did
it, so
seem
that's
to
why
be
I
a really
won.
fun
It did
twist
look
on
fun.
the game.
Yes, it looked fun. I imagine Jen and I are going to be fighting over each other who gets to play it next.
Yeah.
Next time we play Villainous, because we both were like, man, that looks cool.
Yeah.
That looks fun. I want to do that.
Hey,
And I'll be Pete.
of course.
Because Oswald's in it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Except, but you have to kill Oswald.
Banish.
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 How about you, Dad?
It's a Disney game.
We banish, we don't kill it as
Yeah.
games.
How about you, Dad? How was you playing as Shere Khan?
Oh yeah, how was
So
your fun?
Shere Khan is a pretty straightforward villain. He reminds me a lot of the other ones where basically you're trying to get the hero and defeat the hero. I was surprised. It actually seems it's really easy.
Yeah, it seemed like Captain Hook without the tricky parts.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
it
And
reminded me a
felt
lot of Gaston. Except like
No, because Gaston has the different thing of
Yeah,
where
you're-
you're pulling like the things off. Like this, this felt like a very straightforward. You have to find the villain and then kill it, and which is like Captain Hook, but you didn't have to like unlock the Jolly Roger. You
No,
didn't have to do
it's
that
called
extra-
Hangman's Tree.
Like
Oh,
half the
whatever
time,
it is.
whenever you're playing Villainous, it really feels like you're almost playing against yourself and playing against your board. When you're playing as Shere Khan, it really requires the other players to interact with you in order to stop you.
Yes.
Like, I was a constant target to being faded, which is the opponent's way of interacting with your board when you're playing. I was constantly targeted for being faded.
Yeah.
Because I was like really close to winning really quickly.
Yeah.
So they had to constantly just attack me in order to stop me from winning. Now they were completely able to stop me, right? Because
But
Malcolm won.
but the frustrating part is right. Like I was playing Hades, and I don't think I could have played like or had better luck than I had.
Right.
Right. I had the 3 Titans out by like turn 4, and then started moving them, and I only got faded maybe twice.
You only got faded
And
once.
I was still probably another 3 to 4 turns away from possibly winning.
Yeah, where I was constantly threatening
Yes.
winning just any point in time.
So,
it became
yeah.
very much they couldn't. My beating, I could just ignore whatever they were doing
Yeah.
because I was so close.
And the thing that's I think that's one of the frustrating parts about Villainous, even though it is a super fun game, is that there isn't really like equity between the characters.
Yeah, and it's one of the reasons why we haven't played it at one of the DLCs. We love Villainous. We saw it on there. We're like, yes, we are going to play Villainous. But the problems came once we saw, number one, how it's being played, and 2, the prizes from it. The prizes from it were pretty lousy.
And not only that, but it was what characters you were forced to play.
Yes, that was the second part, was the characters you're forced to play. Basically, you're given at random one of the characters. Now, the first 4 were pretty equal to each other, and you would play a 4-person match, and the winner from that would go on to face a winner from another pod of a 4-person match. Basically, it was 16 people altogether, so 4 pods of 4 people, and then it became one-on-one. And it was that second one that we had a problem with because it was Gaston versus Hades.
Oh my gosh,
And
Hades!
Gaston is so easy. Like I would say he's in the top like 5 easiest
maybe
ones to
even
win.
3.
No,
Hades is Queen of Hearts.
the top 3, it goes Queen of Hearts,
King John,
Prince
Prince
John.
John.
Prince John,
Prince John, and then what's his name?
Gaston.
Yeah.
Gaston.
No, I thought it was no, what's his name? What's
Yeah.
the tiger's from Jungle Book's name?
Oh, Shere Khan.
Shere Khan, the
Shere
one that
Khan.
we just talked about, but he wasn't out yet.
Yeah, he wasn't out at the time. At that time, it was like Gaston. Gaston was one of the easier ones to do.
Wait, more than Cruella?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Cruella's pretty easy too.
Well, it's easy too, but it's like there's a lot of things you can do to stop her. Like with
Yes.
Gaston, some of the things you do almost make it easier for them to get rid
Yes.
of the tokens that they need to get rid of.
Yes.
So when we saw it was Gaston versus he was like, no. However, I did watch some of the people playing it, right? And it was a lot of first timers playing Villainous. So when I was looking at like, well, we probably could have swept that whole thing because
We are very.
yeah, we like
Yeah.
it's
We
gone
play
up
a
another
lot.
level since we've been playing Lorcana too, because now we know how to organize cards, we know how we're using resources better.
Yes.
So the whole family has taken up another level.
Especially because like now, like I feel like especially with like the discard aspect of it, the fact that it's okay to run out of cards, you just get more cards. I am like discarding cards I have my whole
Yeah,
hand
yeah.
like every single
You're
time.
constantly shuffling.
Just
through.
know because I know I want to find what I want to find.
Yeah.
Like, every time, which I don't feel like before I was a Lorcana player, that wasn't something I would do all the time.
But this isn't a Villainous podcast. It's a Lorcana podcast.
That is true, Emmett.
You
So we
are correct.
we should probably
You are
transition
correct.
back into talking about Azurite Sea.
The Azurite Sea. We sail tomorrow.
We sail tonight.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm going
At
sailing tonight.
midnight.
I'm going.
Okay, I'll reword it. The Azurite Sea. We sail tonight.
You said the same.
No one forgets.
Okay.
In the name of the sea, what the other sea.
Yes, that. Very nice. That was from Rebecca, who one of the great content creators. She does a lot of the casting
Yeah.
for stuff.
Yeah.
And she
So-
came up with that song.
She came up with that song. It's really great. Go
Yes.
find her on Instagram or Twitter, Blue Sky now. A
And
lot
she's
of
on TikTok too.
TikTok, yeah, and Blue Sky, where a lot of the Lorcana people have migrated over to Blue Sky after, for some reason, that happened. So, including us, we're on Blue Sky now, and that's where I'm posting more stuff. So if you're looking for us on social media, we are over on Blue Sky now as
What's
well.
Blue Sky?
It's like Twitter,
Twit.
but less problematic. And I'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
A family show.
So, anyways, before I do dive in, so this week we are going to be talking about Azurite Sea, and specifically when it comes to limited events, right? So, a lot of times this first week, your stores will be doing, instead of regular tournaments, they'll be doing limited tournaments, where basically you don't play a regular constructed thing, because no one has all the cards yet for set 5. I mean, sure, some people probably went out and bought 5 cases, and sure, maybe they have everything, but most of us are normal
Even then,
people.
even then.
I mean, they
If you
should.
get
Yeah.
At least one of everything.
if you
Oh,
get
no,
5
what did you
cases,
say somebody had ordered at our store?
2 cases, man.
Two
One
full
person
cases
will-
for
2
one
cases.
individual.
Yeah.
And
That's
what did we order? 4 boxes?
4 boxes total, yeah.
So one case.
Essentially, but I order them at different stores to kind
Yes.
of spread our love
so,
around.
Yes.
so that means so that means we have a pretty high chance to get at least 1 enchanted.
Hopefully.
Possibly. We'll see.
No, we're gonna pull 7.
I mean,
Unlikely.
we pulled like 7 in our first set 3 on our first.
Yeah,
4
set three was like our lucky streak.
Yeah,
That's
we had
a-
quite a fruit in that one. So anyways, like back to what we were talking about. So most of the stuff you're going to run into this week is going to be limited. That means it's not bring a constructed deck and play against others. It's you're going to go there and you're going to actually build a deck. You're going to do it one of 2 ways. You're going to build a deck of 40 instead of 60, and you're either going to do a draft or you're going to do sealed. Malcolm, what's a draft?
So a draft is you open up a pack of cards, you
Whee!
pick the cards you want, and then you pass it around.
You pick one. How many cards
You
at a
pick
time?
one card, and then you pass it to the person next to you, and the person on the other side of you gives you their pack, and you pick the card you want from their pack, and it keeps going until the pack is empty. And then you do that with 4 packs.
Right, so you have 48 cards, you cut 8 to get to a deck of 40. Sealed is a little bit different. You get 6 packs.
Can I explain sealed?
Go right ahead,
So you
Emmett.
get 6
So
packs.
you get 6 packs, and then you open them. But instead of like a draft that like you pass it around, all those packs are to yourself. So like if the four of us do a sealed, we would get
Okay, you're getting off track. So what do you do with your cards?
you
So, first of all,
open.
how many cards is that? Do you know?
Let me
6 packs times 12.
6 times 12 equals.
Welcome to the math cabinet.
Welcome to QuestLore. Your home for math questions.
That's right.
72.
You get
so
72
you get
cards.
72 cards. You have to cut at least 32.
You have to cut. You want to get to a deck of 40, so you should be
Yes.
cutting 32 of them.
Yes.
Yep.
Not at least. You have to have 40.
You have.
You can have more than, so you can cut up to 32, because technically you are allowed to have more. Like if you wanted to keep all 72, you could. I would not recommend it, but you could.
No, go to 40. That's what you want to have.
40 is what you want.
I promise you, those last cards are not good.
No.
I promise you.
No.
Maybe those last, maybe 41 or 42 would be fine, but
No, that 41st card and 42nd card, garbage.
oh.
I disagree.
Straight trash.
But
I whenever
he
I'm
usually
playing
wins
sealed,
more than me, so I'm going to go with him.
whenever I'm playing sealed, I build my first deck after I pass through everything, and I count how many cards I got, and it's usually like 26. Like, crap, I gotta find 14 other cards in
Same.
this garbage.
I know.
I'm the opposite. I usually have like 50, and I'm like, crap, how do I get rid of 10 more?
So limited is a big. The other thing you might run into, because one of our stores is doing this, is a pack rush. So the 2-pack rush
I
format.
love pack wash.
So basically, you open up 2 packs. Your promo cards, which are puzzles again this time, are your ink. All right, so that's going to be your ink. Your starting ink will be those 2 cards. You draw 5 cards. You can do the whole mulligan thing, and then you play up to 15. And basically, you don't look at your cards. You and the person you're going up against can look at them if you decide you want to, or at least look at the hollow one in case it's a foil, an enchanted, right? And then you play a regular game of Lorcana with Lorcana rules, but you don't know what cards you have, so it's a little bit fun. But most of the time, you're going to find sealed and you're going to find draft, because that is a way for the retailers to get rid of their cards quickly. It also is a fun way for us to open up.
One time when I did a draft on a cruise line, it was just the 4 of us. I decided, because I have a tin brain when it comes to Lorcana, it's just like, hey, maybe it will be smart to make a all item deck, which is the worst thing is in drafts.
That
Would
did not
be
happen on
smart?
a cruise ship. That happened in
Yeah,
a real
it
draft.
happened
No.
a real draft.
It was
on a
called
store.
Item City.
Yeah.
Is
But it
what-
would also happen on the cruise ship.
not as bad as it was
Yeah,
at the
not
hate
the bit-
side.
like you had like 8 items out.
Yes.
But like no payoff. You're
And
like,
no
wait, what if,
Tamatoa.
imagine if I had a Tamatoa? Like, but you don't, because this wasn't set 1. So I don't know what you're doing.
No, it was set 1.
Was it?
It
Yeah.
was set
Yes, it
Did you
one.
have a Tamatoa?
No.
I had a seal of virtue.
I had to steal the virtue.
I
Which
do
is
have.
another item.
I'm gonna regret myself for asking this. I'm already regretting it, but I have to ask. What's a tin brain?
A tin brain is when your brain is like, ding ding.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so me, Malcolm, Jen, and Tin Brain here.
I'm gonna actually
We're gonna
start
play a
talking about
sealed
Lorcana.
this weekend. I'm gonna do a
yeah.
draft on Friday, another sealed on Sunday. So lots of events. In fact, I was actually a guest on a show called Be Our Guest, where we went over
Guests. Be a guest.
All right, enough.
some card evaluations. I was specifically doing Emerald ones. You can find that on YouTube at Be Our Guest. You can find all of his episodes where he went over through each color. So there's like 6 hours worth of content there that you can listen to, an hour of which I'm on, kind of going through those cards. Had a great time doing that. You can also look for a guy named Nive, Nive. He does a lot of great draft content, a lot of statistic-driven stuff. Some of the stuff I'm going through comes from his recommendations, the recommendations I had with Heath on Be Our Guest. And then also some of the rules come from the old 40-Born podcast, which was a great podcast for Limited. It's still worth it to go back and listen to them, even though they haven't been recording for the past set. All that information there is really good information. So first, let's go over some rules that you should take when drafting. So it's time for Limited. Here are some general rules to follow.
There's so much on the slide.
Yeah, I know.
Man, I need to teach you better slide design.
Well, you know what? Sometimes someone has to work
I know.
and doesn't have time to do more than copy and paste things and just get it done.
All right.
All right, so some general rules you want to follow. First, you do not want to have more than 8 unequals. That should be your limit. It is a 40-card deck, not a 60-card deck. So you can't run as many as you normally would. So 8 is a good number. Second, you'll have a good curve. What's a curve, Malcolm?
Diversity, right? Like lots of different like cards.
Math.
Math. So that's basic. Jen, do you know?
Nope.
Okay. I thought this was one we had done. So that's having 1 drops, 2 drops, 3 drops, 4 drops, 5 drops. So you have cards to
I
play
was kinda
at
there.
each one.
So Matt,
Okay.
so make this.
Different types of,
And
like-
so like one of the things that I know I do, and I think I think Matt does too. But one of the things I do when I am doing a draft specifically is when I turn over my card, I try to keep them in piles of 1 drops, 2 drops, 3 drops, 4 drops, 5 and above. So that way I can tell how many I have of each one. Because I want to make sure I have that good curve because there are times where I'm on round 3 of a draft and I have like 10 3 drops and no 1 drops. And I was like, oh, I have to be looking for 1 drops now. I need to be careful.
In this set, so you kind of want to have like maybe 6 1 drops, like 8 2 drops, some more 3 drops,
Yes.
4, and then you start going back down your curve once you get up to like 5s and 6s, right? Because you don't want a lot of those heavy ones. Like you want a good amount,
Yes.
but you don't want to have too many so that you're stuck with them all in your opening hand, right? In this set, there are fewer 5s and 6 drops. There's more heavy on the lower end. So if you are seeing a 5 or 6 drop that you think you want to play, grab it when you first see it. Don't anticipate being able to see another one. You want to have at least 30 characters in your deck.
So
Actions,
no item cities, sir.
actions,
He
items.
says 30, at least 30 characters, so that means the other
What about
10,
those little robot guys though? What if you find a whole bunch of little robot guys?
So unless you've got, unless you somehow also draft like 3 yokais,
Yeah, I know.
no.
Okay.
So at least 30 characters.
Yes.
Songs, actions, items, locations can all be useful, but characters are how you win the game. They get you lore, they attack other characters. That's what you need to be doing. You want to pick cards that affect the board state, right? So you've got your board in front of you. When you put a card, you want it to actually be doing something.
You want removal, you want gaining lore, you want attacking.
You want something that's either going to gain you lore, it's going to be good at attacking, it's going to be good at removal, it's going to be good at something. You don't just pick all vanilla cards because you think they're safe. Pick something that's actually going to do something when you play it.
Or has evasive,
Right.
has ward.
Yeah. Well, ward is normally really good, can be really good. In this set in particular, there is not a lot of removal.
Oh, okay.
Very little. So ward isn't going to save you very much.
Okay.
Basically, you would have been able to quest with that character anyways, most likely, because there's very little removal. Next, every card in your deck needs to stand on their own. That means don't go for some kind of crazy combo, right? Don't like pull this card saying, well, if I get this other card later, it's going to be great. The big thing on that would be finish line, right? The Sugar Rush finish line.
Malcolm's.
Right, there are
dying
cards that will
over
let you move to that thing for free and gain 3 lore, draw 3 cards. Sounds awesome, but then you have to have those other cards to do it.
is he thinking of Tipo?
No. I mean, like when I go
Sure.
to a draft, that's kind of my strategy.
Is not Tipo?
And how is that?
Half of the mutton fudge.
How has that worked for you, Malcolm?
I mean, I got like 3rd place in one of them.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, there are times where that can work for you, but most of the time it's not going to. So don't, like if you get a really valuable card, really early during like your first pack, maybe you can build around it.
Oh, so if you get enchanted, you have to take it.
Sure, yes.
I'm gonna pass.
Right,
this
enchanteds are
Like
that's
you
a
did
different
before.
rule. No, that was a legendary.
Oh, but still.
No, this is what.
I know. No,
Nope.
we don't have time.
No,
Nope.
don't have time. Anyways, you want your cards to stand on your own. Now, there is a little bit of a caveat with this specific set because it is so pirate-based. If you have a standard, and thanks again to Nye for figuring out the math on this, if you've got a standard table of 8 people drafting, there will be 50 pirate cards in that set.
On average.
Between those 8 people, there will be 50 pirate cards.
Wow.
Each deck will most likely have 6 pirates or so in it, just based on taking cards.
Wow.
So if you get a card early that does something really good with pirates,
Then take all the pirates.
then go ahead and start taking the pirates and build that up.
Sure.
Right? Specifically like the Wendy pirate. Like if there's another pirate in play, she gets a lore and another willpower.
Sure.
So that's a good one to take if that's like your first pack, because you know you're going to be able to get some more pirates. Next, you'll have a simple, clear game plan of gaining 20 lore. This is almost a repeat of the last one, because it's don't rely on a bunch of crazy combos to get you a bunch of lore.
Oh my god, I'm gonna like use this guy to quest and this guy's gonna banish him and I'll get some more lore. And then I'm gonna banish, and then when I use that, I'm gonna banish this item and I gain 15 million lore.
Last one, you will prioritize efficient cards over situational cards. There are plenty of cards that might do good in a specific situation. For example, the new Basil card, right? That discards when you put something into your inkwell and then you pay 1 ink and you make them discard a card. That is only good if, number one, you're still inking.
Yeah.
He's coming down on turn 6.
Yeah.
So how often are you really inking after turn 6 in a draft?
Not really.
And if your opponent has has a bunch of cards in their hand. How many cards do you usually have once you get to turn 7 or 8 in a draft? Very little.
No.
So odds are that's not a great card to play in a draft. But it is a great card.
Sure.
But it's situational, right?
And again, it is okay to take great cards like that and not use them, because even in a draft, there are 8 cards you're not going to use.
Just like enchanted.
Yep.
If you take an enchanted, I mean, if I bought enchanted, even if it's like good in a draft, there's no way he will let me play
That's
it.
not true.
Yes, it is.
If you need to, but most stores will let you play a proxy or something for
Yes.
Enchanted. Okay. So it's only the DLC is the only place I've ever been where they didn't let you play a proxy.
Yeah.
So those are just some general rules to follow when you're drafting or when you're doing sealed, when you're building your deck. Follow those rules. Now I'm going to show you. Now we're going to go through a couple of common and uncommon. So a common and an uncommon in each color. That would be really great to grab in a draft. Remember, you're going to see mostly commons and uncommons because there are more of those in each pack than there are other cards.
Okay. Anyway, bring up.
So first up, Amber. First you've got Dale, friend in need. He's a 3 strength, 4 willpower, 3 cost inkable Amber card. Quests for 2. His ability is this character enters play exerted unless you have a character named Chip in play. So I'm not saying that then go find Chips. That's not why this card is here. But even if he's down on turn 3 and exerted as a 3/4, most likely, if someone decides to attack him next turn, they're taking out one of their characters. In fact, they're probably taking out 2, because it's going to take a lot to get rid of 4.
Yeah.
There are not a lot of characters in this set that hit hard,
No.
especially early.
Yeah.
So if you happen to play him and they have to spend stuff to take him out, that's fine. They probably spent 2 of their resources to take out your 1.
Yep.
All right? And if he does survive, you're questing for 2. Next is Prince Naveen, a vigilant first mate. He's a 5 cost inkable, willpower 2, shift 6, willpower 6, strength 2. He shifts for 3, though I don't recommend shifting a lot in limited because you only have so many resources they can use. And basically if you shift, you're removing a character you already had on the board.
But Taffeta Mutton Fudge.
Yeah, just after the mutton.
Taffeta Mutton Fudge isn't
Doesn't
in this
shift
set.
in the set. That's in the last set, Malcolm.
You just hurt my brother's feelings. How dare you?
This guy also has bodyguard. He quests for 2. He's got willpower of 6. So again,
As a
while he's
bodyguard,
not
that's
hitting
huge.
back, there's not a ton of characters. I think there's maybe 2 commons and uncommons that can hit for that much in one shot, which means they took 2 of their characters to get rid of him. Okay, up next we'll go to Amethyst. So first is Tinkerbell, fast flyer. She's a 3 cost inkable, strength 1, willpower 3, quest for 2. She's evasive. No more really needs to be said.
No.
Of course.
Evasive can win you the game.
No touchy.
No touchy.
There are quite a few evasives in this set, and quite a few things that can give your characters evasive.
Yeah.
But it still means that you have to have, number 1, answers to other evasive characters,
Yep.
and evasive characters yourself. This thing is basically the same as Surfer Mini, but an Amethyst.
Yep.
She's questing for 2. Unless they have an answer right away, she's probably going to quest a couple times.
Yep.
The next one, the uncommon, is Pixie Dust. It's a 4-cost uninkable item. Now this seems, right from where I said that, it seems like, well, I shouldn't play this. And then its ability is when you tap it and pay 2 ink, chosen character gains Challenger +2 and Evasive until the start of your next turn.
I gotta
Again,
tell you, the Challenger thing in a limited tournament is so underrated, in my opinion. Like that Challenger +2, like when we just talked, if we think about that Dale on the last card, right? Having that Challenger +2, now you can get rid of him.
Yep.
With with something that only
drop or
attacks
two
for
drop,
2.
yeah.
So like with a 1-drop or 2-drop, now you can get rid of him, and that is like it's crazy. So the only problem with this card is it can't come out till late.
Yep.
But once it's there, and then you
Yeah.
only need to use 2 ink. And again, that evasive, and it's until the start of your next turn, which means it's still evasive on your challenger's turn. So that is a really, really good ability.
Yep, you can use the Challenger when you need to get rid of an evasive, and you can just make some evasive a high quester when you need to take a turn. So make that Goofy, that quest for 3 and has ward, give him evasive as well.
Yeah.
Every turn, you're just questing for 3, quest for 3, quest
Yep.
for 3. Win game. Up next, we're going over to Emerald. So first up, if Heffalumps and Woozles, it's a song, 2-cost inkable in Emerald. Chosen opposing character can't quest during their next turn, and you draw a card. So basically, you can make it so that they can't progress in the game. They can't get to winning the game. They can't quest. They can still challenge, but
Yep.
sure, but they're not questing. And then you're drawing a card, so it's replacing itself. And you can do that for free because it's a song.
Yeah.
Right?
And I mean, card draw is always important in a limited.
Yep.
So important.
Next, I accidentally grabbed the Italian card of this, but that's okay. I know what it does. It's a 3-cost uninkable. It's Bellwether, some kind of assistant. It says 2 strength, 3 willpower, quests for 1, but it's her special ability that matters here. Whenever you put a card into your inkwell, so anytime you put a card into your inkwell, you make another opposing character reckless. That means they can't quest their next turn and have to attack if they're able. So that evasive problem, make them reckless.
Yes.
Then they can't, at the very least, they can't quest.
Yeah, any of those 2 and 3 questers, which again, that's what people are going to be pulling, the 2 and 3 questers. That is always what you want to be pulling. Because in a limited, you really want to think about this as you want to be aggressive.
Yep.
Because that's how you're going to win limited. So those 2 and 3 questers now, they're reckless.
Yep, exactly. And
So-
you can do that at least once per turn, and you don't quest with this thing, you just leave it there.
Yep.
Ink, oh, now that one's a reckless. Oh, now that little 1/1 thing that quests for 3, that's reckless too.
Yep.
So,
man, it's like
Great
if
card.
any of those exist in the game.
he doesn't even run any of those. Up
I'll
next,
be quiet.
it's Ruby. First, we've got Markowski. He's a 4-cost inkable, 3/2. He's evasive. Quests for 2. Just so that Tinkerbell we just saw, this guy takes him out and lives to tell the tale.
Yep.
Right? I'm not sure why this beefy guy is evasive, but he is.
What is
He
he
blends
from?
in. Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph. He blends in.
Yeah.
That's the jungle, and he's wearing a dark gray spacesuit.
Yeah, evasive makes no sense with this.
I mean, maybe if I watch the movie again, I'll see what Markowski does. This background character from Wreck-It Ralph, but just looking at him, I don't know.
He throws half of the Mud Fudge. I don't like him.
Yeah. Up next, it's an item. It's another 2-cost uninkable item. It does very much the same thing as Pixie does, but it's cheaper because for 2 ink, and you can do this multiple times a turn. Chosen character of yours gains evasive until the start of your next turn.
So it's only the evasive part. So
Right.
that's why it's cheaper.
No challenger,
Yep.
and you can use it multiple times in your turn. So if you've got
Oh, is
laying
the
this
other one
down-
only once?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because you have to tap it. Here you just have to do 2 ink.
Oh, interesting.
So you can give a whole bunch of all of your characters late in the game. Just give all my characters evasive. Quest, your turn. Right? So even if you don't have any cards in your hand, you can still use the longboat.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Up next, let's go to Sapphire.
We sailed the Azurite Sea.
Correct.
Okay, stop.
So this is Sail the Azurite Sea. It's an action. It costs 2. It's inkable. This turn, you may put an additional card from your hand into your inkwell face down, and you draw a card. So
It's a replacement.
It replaces itself. It's like you're inking from the top. Think of it more like you're inking from the top of your deck. Maybe you don't ink that card you pull. Maybe you ink something else, but it puts you ahead in ink. You've got a lot of those abilities where if you ink a card, you get to do something. So this can let you do that something twice in a turn. So think back to Bellwether. I can make 2 of their characters reckless now.
Now for this, when it has this kind of ability, can you do this with a card that's normally not inkable? Because it just says, so it still has to be an inkable card.
This one has to. This is like Bell.
Okay.
Not like Fishbone Quill. So
Or cheap hour.
and you don't even have to actually do that ability. If you don't have any things in your card, play this action. It's a may to put something in your
still
inkwell
draw a
face down,
card.
but you still draw that card.
Sure.
And remember, the way this card is worded, you can draw that card first.
Okay.
You don't have to do that and then draw a card. You can draw the card and then make your decision. Because it says this turn, you may put an additional card
sure.
from your hand to your inkwell face down. So you don't even have to do it right away.
You can do it at any time during the turn.
As long as you do it before the turn end of your turn. Up next is Pleakley. Scientific expert. He's a 3-cost inkable, strength of 3, willpower 4, quest for 1. Reporting for duty. When you play this character, put chosen character of yours into your inkwell face down and exerted. So, much like Sail the Azurite Sea, here, like maybe that one quester that you put down your 1-drop, turn that to ink. Don't have any characters, but you want to ramp a little bit, you can turn him into ink, because you can just choose him himself.
But it has to be a character in this case.
Correct.
Hey, speaking of Lilo and Stitch, I'm pretty sure it was on Sunday. Me and Malcolm were looking at the new cards in the app, and we found a bunch of typos, like emerald cards in the amber section.
Sure. So they did a little something fun. They put a Stitch Emerald card at number 26, which is normally an amber spot. We noticed that the cards were off numbering back during when they were revealing stuff, and we were wondering, what could they possibly have done? Like, why did the numbering change all of a sudden? We did get that answer, right? So Stitch, as an Emerald card, is in spot 26 because this is set 6, card number 26, or experiment 626, which is Stitch, right. So Stitch, being the trickster that he is, has ruined my collection forever by throwing the Emerald card in the middle of the amber stuff.
Stitch? You had to do that! I'm gonna beat you up the next time I see you.
So whenever we're looking for that Stitch card, we have to look at it. And actually, to be fair, that Stitch card is actually pretty decent in Limited. Since you brought it up, it's actually pretty decent. It's a 1/3, I believe it's a 3-cost inkable card, and its ability is that you can tap X number of ink and buff its strength up by that much.
Why didn't you put that in the emerald thing?
Because I chose the other ones.
What was the other ones again?
We're not going back.
Watch the video after we publish it, man. Anyways, you can tap a whole bunch of ink, make him like a 7 strength, and just wipe out whatever big character somebody plays. So that Stitch is actually pretty decent in Limited. So that's Sapphire. We've got one more to go.
Steel.
It's Steel.
Twin Fire!
So the first one is Twin Fire. It's a 2-cost uninkable action. First, deal 2 damage to chosen character. Then you may choose and discard a card to deal 2 damage to another chosen character. So a couple limitations on it, right? First, you don't have to do the second part.
Sure.
So if you just want to do 2 damage to something, just do 2 damage to something. Second, it has to be a different character. So you can't do 4 damage to one character. It has to be 2 damage to one, 2 damage to another.
Right, because it says another. Yep.
Yeah. So that is one of the cheap. I think that's the only cheap really removal that's in this set. There's like one other Emerald card that's called Mosquito Bite that does like 1 damage to something. But there's not a whole lot of removal that's non-interactable in this set. This is one of them. The next one is Pluto. It's a 4-cost inkable, strength of 1, willpower 5, has bodyguard, quest for 1. Special ability is Good Boy. While this character has no damage, he gets +4 strength.
He reminds me of Beast and Lawrence.
Yep. So basically, he's a 5/5 until his damage is being done to him. There's not a lot of pinging removal. So with Twin Fire, sure, it removes that ability. But otherwise, you're probably having to have someone send in 2 people against him.
Yeah.
Sure, maybe the first one is like a 1/2 or something that dies really quickly. But then the second one, they have to at least waste a turn to get rid of Pluto before they can start attacking your other characters.
Yep.
And he still has like a 5 defense, so like.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna
I
take
think
a
it
while.
can take 3 people to get rid of them.
Yeah. And there aren't a lot of bodyguards in this set.
No.
They're all pretty much a 4, 5, or 6 cost. So bodyguards are hard to come by. So it's a good one to pick up if you see him. I will say, looking at the statistics, and again, thanks to Knive for putting that all together, the amount of damage things do is less than the last 2 sets. The amount of willpower things have is less than the last couple sets. But the number of evasives are up, and pirates are up through the roof. Right? So pirate stocks
Guess what we needed?
cashing in.
I was investing in piglet stocks, but
Oh, well, sorry.
That sucks.
You are a loser on that front. So that's my opinions on some of that stuff. There are plenty of people out there. Like I said, I was on Be Our Guest YouTube show, so go ahead and check that out. Knive himself has a limited guide as well that kind of goes really deep into some numbers and statistics. So if that is your thing, go check them out. You can also join the people on 40born. So while they're not producing any more content, they do still have a Discord that you can go ahead and join that. And you can get some great information on Limited there. They even do weekly cubes and weekly drafts through Tabletop Simulator on there as well. But most importantly, this weekend, you want to open some packs, get out to your local stores. Odds are that most of them are doing some kind of limited event. So go ahead, give that a shot. Then you get to open packs. You got new cards.
Yeah.
And you actually get to play with them without having to worry about building the most meta deck in existence. So,
which is probably has like 2 new cards.
so that's our drafting for this set. We may try to record something Saturday night when we get home, since these guys have show week next week, which means they're going to be at the theater every night starting Sunday through the following Sunday.
Yep.
Not me. I'm a bum. I'm going to go play cards and just do stuff around the house. That's not, I cook dinner, right? I clean stuff. I fold laundry. I am.
Maybe Saturday morning, maybe we can do a couple of pack rushes.
Yeah, I was thinking
That
maybe
should
we
be fun.
start streaming some of that. Maybe we could stream that
Yeah.
on Twitch or something like that.
Yeah.
So we might do something like that. So be on the lookout for that if you listen to this early. Maybe we'll record our thoughts on the draft after we do it, if we have time Saturday afternoon or even Sunday morning. But it's going to be iffy. So if we miss next week, sorry.
Yeah.
We'll come back to you the week after and talk to you about more things Lorcana.
Yeah, we might get to record Friday morning though, since we're all skipping school.
Sure, but I still have work.
Yeah, sure.
So
Also,
Boo.
our next episode, maybe, I don't know, maybe instead of like looking at cards, it's me doing Lorcana trivia.
yes, Emmett has been putting together some Lorcana trivia. However, his first pass of it had a few too many questions.
A few. It had
How many slides, Dad?
It had 86 slides.
86 slides.
86.
86.
That's a
too
lot.
many.
But right now,
It used to have 87.
oh, well, great. I'm glad you figured out moderation. But first, before we sign off, let's do our regular trivia from the wonderful world
It's
of Disney
trivia time.
Not so loud. Wow.
So let's work through this trivia card before we do some special episodes featuring Emmett's trivia.
Oh no.
So first up, what is the name of the clown toy in Toy Story 3?
Cosmo.
No.
No, what's its name? It's like
Peppy.
no,
No. No.
It's something that starts with a B.
No,
No, it's not.
it does not start with a B.
the press.
Chuckles.
Chuckles, yes, Chuckles.
You're correct.
Good job.
Good work,
Does not start
Emmett.
with a B.
Okay, let's take a look.
So I
at
was
these
thinking of that
questions.
one when he was doing the flashback of the Lotso and Big Baby and him
Yeah.
thing.
This will be iffy. I think only Mom could possibly get this one. Who has the head of a camel, neck of a crocodile, and ears of a cow?
Chris Pratt.
Say it again.
The head of a camel, neck of a crocodile, and ears of a cow.
Is it Peach Dragon?
Do you know the name of Pete's dragon?
No.
It's
What's the name
Elliot.
of Peach Dragon?
It's Elliot.
I'm so smart.
It's Elliot. It's Dragon. Good job, Malcolm.
Good work, Malcolm. In Monsters University,
Oh, we
what
got
fraternity does Uzma Kappa compete against in the Scare Games final?
It's the what's the
Isn't it Kappa Kappa Kappa?
No.
Kappa Kappa Kappa?
Yeah,
Wait, Uzma Kappa's the Mike Wazowski good
yeah,
guy, right?
Uzma Kappa.
So what's the bad guy's name?
It's a triple.
Pharmaceutical.
It's not the same three. It's 3 letters,
I know.
but it's not triple.
Is
E
it? No, hold on. No, it's not Sigma Sigma Sigma.
No, it's not the same letter.
Skibbity, skibbity,
Because that's what
skibbity.
E in the letter in Greek that looks like E
Yeah.
is a sigma.
Thanks for joining QuestLore, home for all your Greek alphabet needs.
Oh, it's not. It's not a triple letter. It's
Not triple letter, no. It's
AOE.
There's one Greek letter in the middle and then the 2 on
Oh,
it.
is it AOE? Because that's
No.
Alpha Omega Epsilon.
No,
Or-
it's not all Greek. There's only one Greek letter.
Okay. Then what is it?
It is Roar Omega Roar.
That's stupid.
Oh, I knew that.
Sorry, Disney
I knew
Pixar, but
that.
that's stupid.
I knew that.
All right.
I knew it was something. Oh, something.
Okay. Don't. Okay.
Okay, let's see. In Ralph Breaks the Internet,
Oh, sure.
Wreck-It Ralph and Vanellope end up leaving the games.
True.
Where do they go?
I think they go to Mario.
They go to the World Wide Web.
They go to Lorcana.
They go to the internet, like it's in the title.
Yeah.
They go to Lorcana.
No, they go to Springfield.
They go to Lorcana.
All right, last question. In Alice in Wonderland,
Oh, I got this.
what song does the White Rabbit sing as he frets and fusses over the time?
I got it.
What?
It's an award of my own.
No, it's adventure is a wonderful thing.
All right, how we sing
Okay.
it? Ready? I'm
Late, I'm late for a very important date.
No time to say hello, goodbye. I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late.
He's overdue. He's in a rabbit stew. No
Okay,
time
all right,
to
we gotta
say
stop
hello,
before we get
goodbye.
copyright
I'm late, I'm
infringement.
late.
So let's stop right there. You are correct. It is. I'm late. And with the end of trivia brings the end of our show. I do have one question. It has been lighting up the Twitter and Blue Skyverse over the past week.
Okay.
Should the bird be banned?
What bird?
Diablo.
It's Diablo.
Oh dear.
What's your opinion, really quick?
I mean,
No.
he's really easy to get rid of with my deck. I don't find him to be super problematic.
Sure.
So, and it's just card draw. It's not like he's hurting you. So,
I say no.
I don't think it needs to be me. I don't think it's overpowered. I don't think it's any more overpowered than
Old Bucky.
Tamatoa.
no. Okay, well, no. I don't think it's any more overpowered than A Whole New World.
Or
Okay.
Old
I
Bucky.
I mean, the
No.
only thing is because A Whole New World though helps both people out.
Yeah.
So
But Diablo's like really easy to kill, and he has to be exerted. So like,
yeah, because the difference between Bucky and Diablo is Bucky made it so that the game wasn't fun because you had no cards to play. Diablo isn't like that. Diablo just it's allowing them to have more cards, but it's not preventing you from also having cards.
Sure. So, really quick, here's the argument why people say it should be banned.
Okay.
So, right now, the only color that can deal with Diablo
Is steel.
without losing any tempo, right, without being able to play a character as well as dealing with it, or advancing your game state and dealing with it, is steel.
Yeah.
Right?
What about Ruby with Ball?
That you can't play that till turn 3. Okay.
Yes.
And you're taking your entire turn to do it.
Yeah.
Steel has
Steel
two
has
cards, right?
songs.
You can either play, and if you're playing with Amber, right, you can play Cinderella, and then
Yep.
you can sing a song to kill it on
On turn 2.
right?
And there's 2 songs you can choose from.
Or you can play Fire the Cannons,
Yes.
right? And then you can still play another one-drop character.
Yep.
The issue with Diablo is when they do turn 1 Diablo, turn 2 shift Diablo, and then they still have 2 ink that they can do something else with. Right? He shifts for 3, and then they can still do something else. So they can do... Diablo can sing a 3-cost song, destroy your 1-cost character, and then you can also play another character in Ursula. And while it seems like, oh, but they're giving a card advantage because they're just carding a card, well, they're going to draw at least one of those cards immediately anyways, because it's on your turn. And unless you have basically Fire the Cannons or the Cinderella set up to sing something,
Yeah.
he's not going away. He's going to draw more cards to kind of replace him.
Sure.
So it advances the game super fast without punishing the player that's playing it. That's the reason why people don't like it. Why people really need to see it banned. Not because of his ability. Like if you couldn't shift him for free, essentially, because all you're doing is discarding a card that you're going to replace your next turn anyways.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think a thing needs to be changed about them. I think the problem really exists in the fact that you can do that free shifting. And I think that's the reason why we have not seen it since that set. Right, set
The
for that
free
free
shifting
shifting
part.
thing with discarding cards and being able to shift things for free. We have not seen it
Since then.
since set 4.
Okay.
It was set 4 came out. Nothing in set 5. Nothing in set 6. And we haven't seen Together either, which doesn't seem to be nearly as broken.
No.
Right.
That's what's up.
Only Under the Sea is the only song
Under
that's
the
like sing together, but
Sea.
that seems fair that you have to have eight things to sing it,
Yeah.
and it's going to take you until usually at least your turn 5 to even sing it.
Yeah.
So that seems still okay, but this it's feels a little abusive,
Sure.
and that's why people are calling for it. I'm not sure which way is right, but I can see the problem is that while steel decks have answers to it,
That's all.
every other deck have to put in some kind of crazy answer to Diablo
Sure.
in their deck, except for Malcolm's, which is aggro when he doesn't care. Every other deck, it's like, well, what's your Diablo answer? And that's what you have to build around. So that whole second turn, I'm playing like 6 or 7 cards that I could play on turn 2 or 3, taking up 10% of my deck just to deal with a bird. So
Well, I guess, but here's the thing though. If you are running a deck with evasives, you can get rid of them.
not really in turn until there's like one card, there's like one drop that can deal with him on curve, and that's Happy in Steel. Right? Steel's the only thing that has the stuff that can get rid of him on curve and prevent him from. You did this thing that's costing you a bunch of cards, right? Because you shifted, you discard, you play a card. So you spent 3 cards to get that creature on board. It's going to replace one of them, so it's only cost you 2 cards, really. Right? And there's only 2 cards or so in one color that can get rid of him before he gets back that full advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of that's where people are saying that it's a little too powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do things if they make more cards to get rid of it, then it makes that first whole turn in all the colors like almost meaningless because you're always just going to be getting rid of whatever card you play.
Sure.
So that's why people are worried about it. I don't know where I come down, but it is an interesting discussion. So if you have an opinion on the bird, feel free to message us on Twitter, on Blue Sky, we're on TikTok, we're on all sorts of social medias. Feel free to post your opinions there where everyone else is. It's a fun place to be. Anyways, let's bring the show to a close. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you've had fun. We sure did. You can find a video version of our podcast on YouTube with card images and our lovely faces. You can find an audio version on all major podcast platforms. Please like, follow, subscribe, rate, do whatever you'd like. Also, again, give a watch to Be Our Guest on YouTube if you are interested in learning some limited stuff. There are at least 6 hours worth of content that you can go and watch on there. Really great stuff, especially if you want to deep dive into limited. Thank you so much for watching. We have been QuestLore, and we'll see you next time.
Stick with the Metro Dragon for Lorcana. Yippee!